Yo, BJ Gaddour with the daily BJ Beginner Bootcamp Workout 3, another 6-move circuit. We're gonna go hollow body hold as the movement number 1. And this is, again, foundational because it's teaching our body how to create tension from head to toe. Whenever I mention hollow body position, this is what I mean. So I talk about it during push-ups, pull-ups, a lot of things. It kind of gets repetitive, but again, this is like foundational mechanics to put your joints in proper position to execute and keep you injury-free. So we're gonna start. Understanding the focus here is pressing that low back hard to the floor, maintaining that throughout the movement. This is where you begin. Lifting the shoulders off the ground, pressing that low back hard into the ground, and tucking the knees. The tuck position is easiest. Start there. From there, you gradually progress by moving the arms and legs away from each other until you form that true hollow body position. Toes can be pointed, clench the thighs, squeeze the legs together, clench the glutes, crunch the abs, and then keep the shoulders off the ground and maintain that kind of banana or hammock shape as we just hold that. If you fatigue, you feel anything in the low back, just bring the arms and legs back closer together. The goal is eventually we'll do the full set for multiple rounds with the fully extended position, keeping the feet and shoulders off the ground and the abdomen engaged, and the low back should feel nothing. That means you're really learn how to stabilize your spine, and then you'll be ready for a lot of their movements that we do later in the programs or in our monthly workouts as they go. Okay, from there, dumbbell front-loaded mini band box squats, right? So you need a box chair, bench, ottoman at a height that is pretty much at the point where your top thigh is parallel to the floor. Some can go lower, others need to go higher, all based on, limb length, hip anatomy, mobility. Find the right depth that works for you. Don't overthink it. We're not trying to go ass to grass. The mini band placed above your thighs. All our equipment is at gardenofgains.com. It's just gonna help by getting more lateral hoop activation and that neuromuscular retraining of just kind of spreading the hips and making sure we're not doing too much forward knee drive. So it's a great option. If you don't have it, just don't use it, but it will help. And by front loaded, I mean 2 options. One can be goblet. The other can be double front squat position like this, either here or apart. So those are the 2 options that we use. The reason we go front loaded, we get more core and shoulder activation. You can also sit taller and deeper and take stress off the knees and back and put more on the quads and glutes. So it's just a great way to kind of correct the squat pattern in conjunction with the mini band and the box squat. This is how, I treat this like, if you're a member of my site, besides my wife, my little brother, and my dogs, there's nobody else in the world I care more about, really. These are workouts I get people that I care about. They might look a little bit goofy sometimes, but it's the safest way I know to squat. A lot of people hurt their backs, their knees, shoulders, whatever, squatting. This is very safe and accessible. So take your feet about shoulder width apart, slight toe flare, front loaded position. I'm gonna emphasize not just sitting back, but also sitting tall and spreading my hips, lowering control, come to a brief pause, stand right back up. A lot less back and knee stress, all right? So much more accessible, and I do want you to kind of explode up, lower and control. Explode up, lower and control. Once you can start training together a lot of good reps, if you're doing 10, 15 plus reps every round, you can then look to kind of bump the weight up. But again, in the beginning, it's not about the load, it's about getting comfortable with the movements. And because of the fact that our work periods are elongating, our rest periods are shortening, and we're doing more circuits from week to week, that's where a lot of the progression is coming. So using the same loads throughout as a beginner is gonna be fine. Just master the patterns and get laser focused, okay? From there, I still want you to use that same box bench chair ottoman for the hip hinge. The hip hinge is basically, we get a slight bend in the knee, and all I'm doing is, think about someone sticking a rotisserie or pole through my hips. I'm just pivoting through the hip. I'm going from standing plank position to tabletop. So that bend is maintained throughout, and that's all I'm doing. It's a glute hamstring back movement. You feel nothing in the quads. If you do, that means you're squatting too much. One way I like to auto-correct that pattern, a couple things, right? So barbell deadlifts, people get really overly rounded in front of their body, puts more shear stress in the spine. We're gonna hold it, feet are about hip width apart or slightly narrower, palms facing neutral grip, more shoulder and spine friendly. The better position you put for the shoulder, the better the position for your back. All right, so lock it in, keep tension in the rear delts, upper mid back. Think about holding a walnut between your shoulder blades the entire set. Place your calves right on that ottoman or bench and keep them there the whole time. That's gonna help maintain that vertical shin position to shift the stress to the glutes and hams and make sure you're not gonna squat too much. So hinge at the hips, flat back, Get to the point where those dumbbells are right around knee or upper shin level, flat back, head in line with the spine, pull right through. Big mistake here is, don't hyperextend the neck. Just think about closing a car door with your butt, come right through. It's as much a glute hand movement as an upper mid back, rear shoulder movement if you do it right. Hinge, flat back, pull through. Hinge, flat back, pull through. And don't let those shoulders roll. Keep that rear delt tension throughout, okay? Next one, to do a full set on each side, the split squat, which is, like if you have trouble with, or you find regular squats challenging, you ask someone, okay, let's do it on one leg or a single leg position. It can be overwhelming for people. So there's a couple ways that you can do a self-assisted split squat in the beginning. Before I get there, let me just show you our good split squat technique. We always start at the bottom. I want you to make your legs about 90-degree angles. The further that foot is in front of the body, less quad stress. Also tends to be easier on the knees. You have more vertical shin and you work more glutes. The closer the foot is, a little more kind of forward knee position, which is fine if the foot is flat and your knees are ready for it. You get more quad stress. Also, many people find a better way to maintain that good core engagement. We talk about rib shoulders down, abs crunched, back toe. When you get there too, think about pulling the legs together, kind of zip up the entire midline, stretch that hip flexor. Think about balancing a glass of water in your head, and then I'm just gonna stand up, lower and control. You might not need to self-assist. I'll show those options. Stand up, lower and control, all right? About 60% of the weight is on the front leg, 40% on the back. I can make this harder even within the same body weight movement by going here, prisoner style, and then hardest is arms overhead. I lengthen the lever and challenging my center of gravity. If that's too challenging, I can self-assist one of two ways. One, and you actually see, like people will do this as they age, they call it the old man split squat sometimes. You go here, and I'm actually gonna use my upper body to kind of assist myself down into position and also help me get up. Still emphasizing kind of staying tall up top, good leg positioning, all right? If I don't like that option, I have the ability to assist this way, just taking off hands like this, and it allows you to kind of assist out of the bottom, help you load, and then come back up. Again, find whatever way early on to just get the movement feeling good. You want to be challenged but not overwhelmed. That's why a lot of beginners will quit or constantly stop and start because it's just, they go from 0 to 100. No, you gotta ease into it, get your body comfortable with this stuff, and add just the smallest amount of stress needed to keep the needle moving in the right direction, all right? Do all your sets on one side and then switch. Don't worry about adding weight to that movement, just use less and less self-assistance and try to get more reps and stay in more constant motion. No matter how fit I am, and I can really load these up and I go really advanced, you know, you'll find out Bulgarian split squats down the road, by the way. You're not gonna like them, but we won't start there. Yeah, I would just go, you know, get as many reps as I can in that time frame. I can go constant tension and not go all the way up to kind of really narrow out the muscles reps. So there's so many ways to intensify. You got it. Final move, dumbbell tall kneeling hammer curl to press. It's a total upper body movement with some core engagement. We're gonna go palms facing hammer grip. Again, very wrist, elbow, shoulder friendly. Lock it in, squeeze those glutes, crunch those abs, curl to press, lower and control. As many quality reps as you can, keeping that good core engagement, working the arms and the shoulders. One of my favorite movements. A little gun show, why not? Enjoy this workout, work this system, stay consistent. I promise you, look, I've been doing this shit since I was 14 years old. I've not missed a workout, a week of training since I was 14 years old. If you keep showing up and you get a little bit better every single day, you can't be stopped. Keep showing up, get a little better every day, make a change. Love you, peace. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for fast, fun, and effective workouts for busy parents and professionals, get a free trial to thedailybj.com today.